Hello all, Dr. Fox back here with you, the weekend update. I finally remembered a little rebuttal I'll fill in from a week or so ago about one of the events that was ending, and I'll fill in that little rep word. I knew the W was close. We'll get into that. We got, oh my goodness, we're going to talk about this little engineering toy available in retail game. The specific type of wormhole generator. Boy, that's going to make a big difference, especially if you end up putting it on others. Oh my gosh, we've got Fallen Charger update, talking about some of the things I've been doing. I'll get into that. Let's just jump right into this weekend, huh? Dr. Fox back here with you with the weekend update. First off, happy National Ice Cream Day today. I know in the Burger King app, they did have a free vanilla ice cream cone, but sadly, my local one, or at least somehow it's not, the system's not working with the app today, because sometimes it doesn't work with it, so I can't go get my free one. But there is $1 off at Dairy Queen's for a dipped cone, but those are pretty pricey, even for a small. I know McDonald's used to do a little cone, though I try to cut down on a lot of things with sugar. Be nice if they could have one that's sugar-free, though a lot of people will have that negative issue about what happens with the ice cream soft serve machines and why they avoid it like the plague. So we'll leave it to your discretion on how you feel about that. So I think with that, one quick discrepancy I wanted to cover really quick. The other week when one of the Ashran event was ending, I knew I was on the right track with it starting with a W. So I was close. It was I think if I remember right, for Alliance, it was the Wyran Vanguard. I think that's what I was trying to say. I think I almost said Wildhammer, one of the old Wildhammer reps or something. I was trying to get at Weingard for that. And then I think it's the Spear Vol'jin or the Vol'jin rep or something for the Horde side as well. Oh my goodness, where are we going to even start with this? We've got just a few major little bullet points. I think where we'll start is the Sanctum. At least this week, last week it had gone live, but usually that week later they have that finder available when you're looking for a raid group. Now the LFRs are live, and we're going to have to see how the World's First kind of gets underway. So congrats to the World's First guilds that rock right through that as well. And I think one thing that we really wanted to touch on here was one of the hot fixes this week, the Fallen Charger. Now it's down to once a week, but they have dropped it so that the drop rate is higher. I think it's 3 times what the drop rate was prior. So at least if you want to try to get that Fallen Charger out in the maw, there is that chance of that. I haven't had any time getting on, to be honest. My life has been absolutely crazy, Kens. And speaking of that, I'm telling you, if you got time, my goodness, some of you are already hitting your Anima Cap. And that's congrats. That's a lot of work, because I have tried, and I think I'm down now to about 1 day in the game a week. Sorry, jeez, I should have brought my eye drops. It just started to act up as I'm getting into my weekend update here. And then, of course, those might be able to see Miss Mora up there taking a little nippy nap. I was trying to get the camera as close as I could so you guys could see her just hanging around in that's her bed. But I think just some are Anima capping, and I'm like, I wish I could even get close to that, because I got so many upgrades I need. I got so many transmogs, and then as you get higher renown unlocked, usually I've been really good, like hitting at least 2 renown a week. I haven't even had a moment to come in and get my 2 renown a week this week as well. Sorry, my goodness, excuse me. Oh, so just a couple of mentions on that. And so with the engineer, boy, what a neat little secret. It's tempting to almost change all my engineers, all my characters to one of their professions as an engineer when you're retail. Because if you just get the wormhole generator toy on one of your engineers, bam, you don't even have to learn engineering all the way up through. You just got to learn the profession, that first thing that teaches it so that your profession just says engineer can be 1. It doesn't have to do nothing. And you can use that wormhole generator. Boy, what a great thing. It can portal you to, if you're up to Korthia, it'll portal you to Korthia. It'll portal you to like all the different wow, what a fast way now to get around in Shadowlands if you want to take advantage of turning like pretty much all your characters you use into engineers right now. It's a engineering is like the one of the few really good things to be using, especially in Shadowlands right now. Because they've had those worm generators before, but if I remember right, I thought they just randomly shot you in different locations in the past expansions. Maybe during the expansion they would let you do specific. I don't know. I hadn't played around with the worm generator as much, the little toy. So, and I think all I have is my Worgen engineer here. Let's see if I can take a quick gander down my list here. I don't even use. Yeah, there she is. I remember last time we did a vid was getting her heritage armor. I haven't used so many alts in so long. I'm still barely trying to work on my main, but the good news is I have flying unlocked. For those that had watched my other weekend update, you would have seen, yahoo, we got flying. But now I'm kind of like, yeah, it's great. But and I go back to Bastion, for my main character. I'm like, oh yeah, I can fly right here. I keep forgetting. I start running using the stairs, and I forget that I can fly. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's muscle memory. So trying to kind of reset that as well. But I think for those, oh yeah, and just another quick reference as well to that raid finder that went live for the LFR. You'll want to have at least 195 for item gear level, and it'll drop at least in the first 8 bosses a 213 item level piece for you, which usually I'll just try to pop into an LFR. That's usually when part of the expansion starts to get kind of elongated, because then I end up spending these hours like running around doing my dailies while I'm waiting for the queue, and these queues turn out to be extensively long, especially as the expansion moves on. It's I don't know, I may not be able to get in to do that as much. I think I'm finding myself slowly pulling away a little bit. And then they're like, well, Dr.Fox, stop your weekend updates about WoW, talk about something else. And that's fine, but for right now, that's still some of the topics that we're covering. I just don't even have the time for when I think I asked a while ago about wanting to be able to, what if some wanted to see me play some PS5 games. I knew that was going to happen. I'd worked so hard to finally find a console, and I barely got the time to get on it right now, which is so infuriating. Not infuriating. It's just frustrating that I can't enjoy that once in a while, and I like some good downtime with it. It's just not. It's just so much stress and everything else that's going on in my life right now, and the chaos, and it's not so simple to just forget about it or put it aside. Or, it's like half of these individuals, and I know I say a lot of things that are struggling, but I'd like to ask those folks to please come step in my shoes for 1 mile or 5 miles, as the old saying goes. I know I've said that before, and then they'll tell me to be in theirs, and then I'm the crazy psycho one. So it's like I can't get anywhere with this. It's like, and as I said, no matter what we say, we've said this many times, no matter what you say, you get rebutted. And I'm sending a shout out to a gal pal of mine suffering. They're really trying to get rid of some infestations from a couple of their home setups. It's really, so I'm sending my best out to you. Trust me, I wish I could be down there with a blowtorch or something, or trust me, if I was made of $1 million, I'd hire all the best people to come in and wipe that all out for you. You wouldn't have to lift a finger if I could do something like that, or help many other things, of course. But that is a story for a different day. But all I'm doing is I'm sending my best. Now I'm so strapped because of everything, and all the stress I'm going through is just becoming so debilitating, and I'm trying to make some kind of effort, and I'm just getting judged upon it. And I put down my judgment rules in the beginning for catching up with someone, and it just didn't seem to stick. Or they just like I knew it was going to happen. They said, I'm not doing that. Yeah, you clearly are, but you can't. And then you try to record it or show it back to them, and they still don't see it. So no matter what it's like telling them that this pen is blue, which you clearly see on camera. It is. Some could say, well, it's a different shade of blue. Okay. But you tell them it's blue, and they're going to sit there and tell you, no matter what, it's red. So it's that kind of, and it's been a very debilitating time. I'm just when I'm put into these circumstances, a lot of my disabilities, not a lot of them can be seen outward. Now, if they shaved my head, if they took clothing off, they would see my physical scars. Now, it's almost like I got to cut my hand or my leg off just so that they see, or like burn half my face or something, which, God forbid, I hope never has to happen. But there's thousands and thousands of soldiers out there suffering, and they have every right to that. Especially right now, DHHS just got 2,483,000, over 2.4 million. And I know how quickly that disperses, but all I'm getting at, it's like, it's not like I'm feeding off of it. I've spent my life paying into it. I worked odd jobs for decade after decade after decade, even when I wasn't trying to use it, and I had every right to use it, even after my military disabilities and stuff. But that's not my point. It's just really frustrating, and you shouldn't have to say it. I've always been like there's an individual on, I think it's the United States of Al or something. It's one of these comedies. They make kind of fun of that. But, that money's supposed to be there for us. And I'm not saying that it is. It's just you work very, very hard for it, and you try not to give in. And I remember that character is similar to me in the aspect of like, yes, I know I got this binder full of all this struggles, but I don't feel comfortable taking it. And then he finally does. And I think that's kind of where me and I know many other soldiers I know will not do that. But and then you got your others that will just jump right on it the second they, or fast as they can, or come up with reasons to jump on it. But I'm not trying to diss anyone. It's just this is how sadly it's a broken system when it's trying to be taken. It's just all I'm saying is you didn't have to be like that. It's just there's so much more. I'm only hitting some bullet points on, and a lot of you may have already checked out by now, and that's fine. I appreciate those that kind of stick around and kind of let me revel through my little process, and then I do come back. It just takes some time, and sometimes I might miss a topic or get straight upon one, and some will say that's common with individuals or with brain injury, but I actually was talking about a specific aspect of a physicality I needed covered, and this happened when I was getting reviewed by a nurse. She just shushed me, and I knew another soldier I've spoken with that had been shushed as well, and she just goes, shh, because she says a lot of soldiers that have brain injuries will just ramble. And I said, I'm not rambling, I'm trying to share with you and trying to give you a little bit better circle of the circumstance that's going on here. So I just needed her to give me that couple extra minutes, and if she didn't shush me or have to say that one statement, I could have gotten my statement out in under like 30 seconds, and it wouldn't be taking her away from her time. But that's frivolous. But anyway, that's a whole nother aspect, and I'm still busy, and it gets me when some are just sitting there like, oh, they're just sitting there and collecting, they don't do anything. No. They don't know me. Like I said, go a mile or 5 miles in my head, in my body for a week. Let's see how everyone else can hold up in this. It's very exhausting, but by the time I get through my morning routine now, it's already lunch. By the time I get through lunch, it's already afternoon snack time. By the time I get through that, it's supper. By the time I get through that, it's already evening, and I got to try to do a few things. And then on top of that, that's not the only thing that's happening. I help out, and I have to drive individuals around still, even with, now no worries. I'm not taking medications and causing drowsiness and using heavy machinery. When I have to get out, I don't take that, which is debilitating. I need to take it, but I don't want to be walking around like a zombie all the time either. I'm trying to do this, I don't want to say holistically, because then they'll think I'm doing pot, and I don't do pot. I avoid that like the plague for a list of reasons. And I'm not dissing someone who uses it. This is just my aspect of it, and I'm just getting more updates that are coming in here. So I just wanted to kind of wrap this up and share with you a little of the chaos going on. You're only getting snidbits and pieces of it because we have to be cautious and careful about how much we share in the world and with so many others that have issues. And trust me, I'm still out there working all day. I do long days as well. And it's just exhausting when people start jumping to a conclusion about something that they have no right to be talking about. And that's what just really gets to me sometimes. And it really gets frustrating, agitated. So I think with that, we're going to take a moment. I did my Tai Chi today. I'm really proud of myself. I've been working up the last couple of weeks. I've now done over 8 miles total. I've been doing about 1 mile about every other day. I've got it worked up to about 4 miles a week. So week 1, I got 4 miles in. Week 2, I just completed 4 miles yesterday. I already got my first mile in for this week. That was this morning. That's why the weekend update's coming out a little later today. I was really excited. Something I wanted to share really quick before we get into the calendar. One thing I was really excited about that I've been trying to do for quite some time is being able to get an antenna set up here. I did call many times, much in advance as far back as I could before closing. And I was trying to find an individual because I know a lot of people, because of COVID, they're really booked out far or they can't for a while or whatnot. So I was trying to prep for some of these things. And I already had I bought this long pole. Basically, it can be used for like a long fence pole. It's like the top piece or like your bottom piece that goes into your side fencing. And it's like one of the best poles you can get at a very reasonable price. So I had that. I had this night. I did my research. I did this pretty nice. I was gonna go unidirectional or multi-directional, the one that goes all the way around. But you get less of a signal, and if you go more direct, you can get a slightly better signal. But it usually comes down to about, at least in this area, there's like 2 different directions, and it's either towards Portland, Maine, or towards Lewiston, Maine. That gives you sort of the idea that we're sort of centralized. And that, with the way that lines up, I know I've used the app before, but there's no way, especially with my disabilities, especially with me sometimes fainting, sometimes with me collapsing over or something, there's no way my equilibrium, I was going to try to get on that ceiling. The tippity top roof, I meant. And thankfully we found someone, but they were about 3 weeks behind. So I'm really excited about it. And I just had to share this story with you all. I'm very excited because he came in and I said, "You'll be my hero if we can at least get this all hooked up." And he did a very professional job. He's a nice guy. He ran the wiring nice and clean. He even did the little raindrop loop, and then he added it in case we end up adding other rooms. But thankfully, I found a great deal the next day on Air TV. It was like, I think, $149. Normally that unit's like $220 by itself. It comes with I didn't need this other antenna, but the antenna is going to someone special for a holiday gift. Coming up later. So that will save that, and I have a few other goodies that, as I'm trying to move in and settle in. And I did take some trading this past week. I did get to go to GameStop, but sadly, I hate it when that happens. You put your Nintendo Switch in and it works at home, and then you get it there, and on their tester TV, it wouldn't work. So I got this much lower, even though I was quoted on the phone, you get in there and it won't fire up. So it's considered defective, and I got a much lower rate. But we traded them, and at least I got to use the trade value towards a couple of those that know I have quite a little extensive collection here of some of the different Transformers. There's a couple of little, the movie series 86s that are coming out later in the fall. I've got a couple of those reserved, and I use some of that for that. And I like to pay for it in advance just because I had some extra trade-in value there, and I had another older phone I wanted to trade in. They wouldn't take that trade at T-Mobile, but they thankfully took the trade there, but it was very little. I don't care. It was better than zero, because most of the phones I've been trading in, I've been getting zero trade value for them anyway. But so I was really excited. We got it set up, and I said, "You'll be my hero if we get at least like PBS, the Fox, which is like the 23s up here, Maybe the 13s at best. I'm like, you'd be my superhero if we're able to get in, like, channels I really want. Like, I've not had ABC in probably decades of at least having it through the antenna setup. That way you can wait like 2 weeks later and you can watch one of the episodes on like the app for free or whatever, and I'm not going to spend outrageous amounts on cable or dish or whatnot, but I've been able to find other ways. And so I was like, it'd be amazing if you got like the ABCs, which is the 8s up here for us, and if you got Me TV is what I really, really wanted. And that also comes with Laugh TV. There's a lot of great shows on Laugh, and I knew an old friend that used to pick up the Laugh channels, and they were like Night Court on there, and like, you know, that 70s show, and there's just so many great classic sitcoms that was on it. Sorry, I got itchy on that, and so we're closing in. But again, I'm also trying to be frugal because things are beginning to get tight over the next month here. I've got about a month to finish paying for all those little parts coming up, and it's getting I don't want to say down to the wire quite yet, but we're definitely getting there. And so I was very excited. We got it even slightly picked up the 5s, which are out of Bangor, and I didn't expect it, which is fine because most of the 5 stuff is like, as long as I get 13, then I'm fine. I'm not too concerned about the other ones on there. But yeah, I got all the 6s, I got all the 8s, all the 10s, but I usually only watch a little bit of PBS, or maybe the PBS Kids sometimes I'll put on in the background. Of the 13s, but usually I just watch 13. I don't really watch the TBD or the Stadium channel. I know I picked up like Ion, like some of the 35s even a little bit, and the 23s, of course. I did get Fox. I like my Fox Comet. There's Charge in there too for a lot of action movies. Every once in a while, I think I caught a couple of Jackie Chan Operation Condor movies on there like months ago, and I love comics, especially right now during the summer months. And there's a couple other times when some of the Godzilla movies will pop up in there, and I'll put them on. Oh, Gojira! And I'll be like, oh, Gojira, Mama, Gojira. When I'm talking to Miss Mora over there, she might have moved because sometimes she'll put her head up when I'm talking like that to her. She's all settled in. She had her TREATSs already. So, but anyway, I was very excited to get that, and I've been really starting to enjoy that. I know it's been kind of exciting to enjoy. They had the classic, like Looney Tunes, Popeye, Pink Panther. They've been like in the mornings at 7. And what I like about Air TV now is it'll record it, because I've been getting up like all week long, like that 1 hour earlier, and oh, it's hard. I remember having to get up even earlier than that at like 4:45 in the morning, and doing those early mornings just beats the crap right out of me. And I did that right up until Saturday, and I'm like, all right, this is enough. And then on Saturday, at least, they don't have the little tuned in hosts. It just does the animation. Like the first hour it gives you is like the classic Popeyes, and then, or at least this week it was, and then it was an hour of like the Pink Panther and Friends, and then your final hour, of course, it builds up to the Looney Tunes excitement. So you get that until 10 a.m. On MeTV, which is really neat. And I had that in the background while I'm putting around and trying to do some things around the house, and I got in my walk. I guess I'm my mile walk, which is nice, because right now I have a decent view of the television, but I got to move it away when we start firing up the heat later. I know, talking about heat already, when it's already like these tropical heat waves outside up here. But and I have my AC off temporarily. I had it on earlier this morning, and then it went into like safe mode for a little bit, and I was like, I'll just shut it off because I'm getting ready to do my weekend update. I know we're kind of rambling on a little further than I usually do, but I wanted to share that for me, that was a really exciting moment, and I thought, I didn't want to have wires running through, and I offered to help my brother, like if he wants to do that. It's kind of neat. You can really do, it's a nice little setup on there now. So I've been playing around with it, and I think speaking of like gaming and stuff, I think Dead Pixels is back. It's a little rude and crude series. There's a lot of potty mouth in it, and there's some very negative and death and destruction and whatnot. But there's some aspects of it that kind of make me chuckle, and I think that's back at CW tonight. I thought it was, but I don't know. It says Legends is on. Maybe their schedule hasn't updated yet, because I thought that comes back tonight. I know they had it last summer. That was an interesting little series. The series is called Dead Pixels, for those that were wondering, and Season 1 was on CW. I don't know if it's on the CW app right now, because they're getting ready for Season 2, but they left it, of course, on a, like the cliffhanger, if you will. I almost say cliff jumper from Transformers. When I do that, my brain just kind of does that. Anyway, I think with that, we're going to kind of wrap this up. And again, I always try to remember to put the little timestamps in there. That way, no one has to sit. They don't want to sit and listen to me ramble. Other ones are very sweet and patient, and they'll just kind of let me go off on my little thing and do my weekend update. It's just nice. It's therapeutic to me just to share a few minutes with you / and/or you folks as well in there. So I think, yeah, some of those have finished. So you can see, sadly, I'm still stuck. I haven't, right now, technically, if I had the time, even it's just coming for like an hour, thank goodness these go fairly quickly, I would be at 47 renown today if I had actually had time to come in here. But I wanted to show you. I was very excited. At least I can do the flying, and that's a help. PvP Brawl, we're going to get into 11 calendar kitties. PvP Brawl Packed House, that goes on until the 20th as well. We've got the Arena Skirmish bonus event, that's beginning as well. The next tier of the LFR should be going live as well. We've got the Auction House Party coming up, usually a month into summertime. We usually start seeing a bunch of folks hanging out at the capitals as well for that micro holiday coming up on Thursday. I wish I could be celebrating right now. I'm in like I can't help it. Every time I get so stressed out with this whole mess I'm trying to straighten out, and I get these reviews that come up, I'm in this stress mode, and I constantly just walk around my house, and I putter, and I can't stop. Or I'll get so exhausted, I finally have to just lay down, and it's so exhausting. But I think with that, then we continue time walking dungeon event. That's ending this week for those that were able to get in to do the time walking for that the other week. Warlords of Draenor, or WOD, W-O-O-D, for the, everyone pronounces it differently. Deep 6, that's going to begin PvP Brawl this week. And again, as I mentioned to start it, the PvP Brawl Packed House is ending this week as well. So just a couple of tweaks that should get us through this week, and then we have one final week of July. And I think, hopefully, that will kind of give you something to work on. Or are you not even playing this anymore? Are you playing Final Fantasy XIV? Are you so busy offline and you're doing something else? I know someone who's completely busy, and they're right straight out. Like I said, I don't even have any time. This is more of a therapeutic tool at this point because, well, for holistic reasons. But as I've said, I think with that, we're going to wrap this up. Take something to get you through that third week of July. Call me in the morning, and then once again, you know the drill. We will see you later.